Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back. It's Eran Thomson, ET, here with another creative portfolio review. This review is for Nicole. She's an art director and creative director. Thank you, Nicole, for sharing your work with me. I know it takes a lot of courage to send a link to someone you don't know and ask them to give you feedback. Hopefully this experience is helpful for you and for everyone watching. As always, I like to make sure people know that everything I say and do here comes from a place of love and respect, and my only intention is to help you make your work great, so you can get the gigs or gig that you are looking for and really succeed in life as a creative communications professional. So let's get stuck in and see what Nicole has to share. So this is Nicole's website. By the way, if you want to share your folio, you can do so at eranthomson.com/reviews. There's a link there on the lower right hand side. Okay, and now that I've done that, let's get rid of that and have a look at Nicole's portfolio. So Nicole did mention to me that her portfolio doesn't work very well on mobile, and she seemed embarrassed about that in her message. But I would tell you that generally speaking, any creative professional who's going to make a value judgment on you on a little tiny phone isn't probably taking you very seriously to begin with. You know, this is a communication craft skill, and unless you're a UX designer or a mobile phone app designer, your work probably is always going to be better experienced and understood on a larger screen. So I wouldn't feel too bad about that. I didn't look at it on mobile, but if it's really bad, then maybe you need to fix that. But for today's discussion, I'm just going to be judging it on the desktop experience. By the way, you can't see it, people watching at home, but one of the big problems right off the bat with Nicole's site is that it's an insecure site. She doesn't have an SSL certificate installed on her hosting provider. This means that for a lot of people who are behind very strict IT environments, they may not even be able to look at your website until you fix that. Other people, depending on how their browser is set up, will get a warning that your website may be dangerous or even malicious. So wherever your website is hosted, Nicole, first most important suggestion I have for you is get that fixed. If it's WordPress, you can get an SSL installed for free, usually with your host. If not, you can get them for like $5. It's the best money you'll ever spend, and it just gives people a lot more confidence when looking at your site, and also makes it accessible to people who otherwise might not be able to view it. Okay, Nicole Ascari, a portfolio of my brand design work. Okay. So I feel like that's a lot of words when you could just put brand designer. So I don't know that you know, I feel like that's overwritten and it could be simplified. Also, please forgive me. I know you can't change the name you were given, but the fact that the mark that you've chosen to create for yourself is NA, and it's so plain and uncrafted, it reads as nah, which is negative, right? And I don't mean to make fun of your name. I'm not doing that. I think there's a way that you can use your initials or design a different mark for yourself that doesn't read that way and doesn't feel that way. Also, the fact that it's kind of black and white and it's got this negative space it just feels like a negative mark. That's my gut reaction to it. I can't explain it any further than that. I feel like you, as a brand designer, and again, I haven't looked at any of your work yet, but your mark is probably the thing you should spend the most time on, and this feels like you slapped Trade Gothic or Helvetica compressed into a square and moved on to paying work. What's the expression? The cobbler's kid always has the worst shoes, something like that. I feel like you haven't done your own brand justice here, Nicole, so I would encourage you to spend some time thinking about that. All right, let's see what here. Brand design portfolio, UX portfolio, about Nicole, contact. Cool. So if your UX portfolio doesn't work well on mobile, that's a problem. All right, well, I saw a scroll here, so I'm just going to scroll. Oh, that's nice. Brand design, creative direction, graphic design, research. Dispatch Health, a health tech brand who sees patients differently because home is where your health is. Yep. Okay, so I see what you're doing here. You're just sort of giving me a quick scan, top line view at some of the projects you've worked on with a button for each to allow me to do a deeper dive. I actually really like this. This lets me make a really quick value judgment about you, for better or worse, and decide if you're someone who I think is a fit for what I'm looking for or someone that I want to work with. So I actually really, really like that you've chosen, I'm not sure about this one, but that for most of these, it feels like, oh, I see. Yeah, that for most of these, you're showing me, you give me enough of a clue of what it is that you do that I can make a decision about whether or not I actually want to see more. So I like that. All right, let's go in here. Oh, that's weird. Okay, so I clicked this menu item and it just took me back to your home page. So that's a little bit confusing. I would have expected to go to a section that just is only brand design work. Okay, let's have a look. Oh, loading. I hate loading animations. That's a personal pet peeve. I'm not saying they're right or wrong. I just hate them. Okay, so is this, I think what this is you're giving me a lot of preamble to explain how you landed somewhere, right? Which I guess is here. It's cute. Yeah, color. Okay. Oh, that's a lot. Okay, so I'm going back to the top here. So my first thought here is get rid of all of this stuff. Like I don't care, right? Or at least hide it behind a drop down or put it last. It's I'm hiring you to be a designer, so I don't want to read. I want to look at things. I want to see beautiful things. I want to see something that makes me go, oh wow, this person really knows how to make cool marks, cool design, pretty things, and I'm disappointed now to learn that the mark I thought was cute with the little moving mailbox thing is actually the old logo. I like the old one better, but it's a good evolution. I see it's tightened up, puts health front and center. Yep, that makes sense. I understand why they did it. But yeah, color palette. Again, I know that you want to explain everything. This feels more like a brand book than a portfolio piece. Photography. Okay, so you got a TV spot in here. Did you direct it? Yeah, let's just see. Okay, all right, so there's your stuff. I feel like instead of making me watch a whole minute long video that's not very good, you could just do a couple of screen grabs that show the stuff the part that you did. All of this is more interesting to me, and I feel like each one of these should have its own section. You've lumped them all together, so I sort of don't really know where to look or what to look at first. And actually, it kind of feels like the same thing over and over again. You've put a logo on a brochure. You've put a logo on a tent. You've put a logo on something that hangs from the ceiling, right? So there's, maybe pick three things, right? A website, screen grab, a flyer, brochure, and the car, right? That's enough that for me to understand that you did this thing and it's been applied in a lot of places. And frankly, that's kind of really all you need, right? So I feel like maybe one suggestion, and again, I'll look at the rest of your portfolio and kind of trying to start to understand how you've been thinking about presenting yourself. But my suggestion would be like brand design, and then the first thing I see here is dispatch health, old logo, new logo, and then the second thing I'd want to see is here's how I applied it to a tent, a web page, a car, or a brochure. Pick three. And then maybe the third thing, if you think it's actually that unique, different, and special, I'm not convinced that it is yet, but if you think your end frame is gorgeous, beautiful design, then do a couple screen grabs there of that. And then everything else can be like under a separate section, which is like brand kit or brand guidelines or my design ethos, philosophy, approach, if you feel like you really want to share that. My perspective is, having worked in design agencies and ad agencies, is that most people don't care I don't really want to, I just want to know, do you have the craft and is the quality of the work there? Okay, that's enough about that. Okay, close this. So that's brand design. Propeller, B2B, low code, no code, automation. Sounds like something I'd like. Okay, already. See, so much to read. Space flight and superheroes. Logo. Brand kit. Applications. Yeah, I'm repeating myself, but get rid of all this, man. Just you don't need it, or put it in a separate section. You know that speaks to your design, a philosophy, and approach. Show me the logo. Show me how it was used. Pick 3 or 4 great examples. Do I need to see the same logo on the side of the building and also on an iPod case and also on a T-shirt and all these other places? Probably not. This is cool, like this little mosaic that uses the brand colors and breaks up the mark. I think that's interesting. So I like some of that design stuff, and I don't dislike the mark or the work that you've done. I just think it's too much of the same thing, kind of repeated, and superfluous information. Okay, scrolling through again. Shows and conferences. I like that image, by the way. How tomorrow's workforce works. This is cool. I like the reimagine animation. That's nice. And now here you are again, making me read a bunch of stuff. I don't want to read it. I just want to look at pretty things and be inspired and amazed and impressed, hopefully. There's some good photos here, but I'm not quite sure. This is the first photo. This photo, I know what you're showing me. This photo, I don't, right? This photo, I don't. This photo, I don't. These are just random generic event photos that could be from anything. This is interesting because I see the logo on an app. This, yeah. So I feel like you've got images here that maybe help tell the story of an event, but only 3 or 4 of them actually show design work. And it's the same thing. It's the logo on a different thing, right? So that's starting to feel like a pattern in your portfolio. Shop spot. Installations. This is a really busy section. There's no hierarchy to it, so I don't know what to look at first. And if I try and move left to right, I'm caught up because things aren't spaced evenly. So I would fix that. Oh my goodness, more copy. And again, the image isn't helping me understand who you are as a designer or a creative director. You know, this should have a caption that's, you know, the billboard test is one of my favorites. Is like, can you say it in 5 words or less? I feel like if you had something to do with whatever's going on in this photo, there needs to be a 5 words or less caption that says, you know, event space I designed, right? Something for, you know, event space for, you know, I already forgot the brand. Reimagine, right? So, okay. On the customer experience. Yeah, same thing here. There's too much together and it becomes too busy. Pick one image, 2 or 3 images max for each thing that you're trying to show, and help me understand what it is that I'm looking at and why it's impressive, right? This packaging is kind of cool. I like it. If you've been on my website, you know I love slashy stripes. But you know, there's a lot going on here, and you know, all jeans, buy one, get one, 50% off. Like, what does a jeans sale have to do with, you know, reimagine? I feel like the presentation of this whole thing needs to be simplified greatly. Take as much of the copy out as you can. If you can say everything that you've taken 6 paragraphs to say and put it in 5 words, and put a hierarchy to what you're showing. And again, you've heard me say this before in other reviews, less is more every time. Okay, shows, conferences. Craft, C, class, branding. Okay, so you've told me here what it is, that you did. You did the concept, you did direction, design, and performance tracking for over 1,000 classes. That's impressive. That's cool. Now I'm going to look at the project, and I bet there's going to be a half dozen paragraphs of text re-explaining things that I already think I know, right? Let's see if I'm right. Oh, there's some copy. Oh, there's some more copy. More copy, more copy. Okay, not as bad. All right, I'm sorry. It feels like I'm picking on you. I'm sorry. There's a lot of pretty stuff here. You know, Craftsy logo is nice. I hope you made that. I don't know if you made it because it's not clear. Does concept include the logo? Yeah, but it's a nicely crafted logo. Forgive the pun. I've said this before in other reviews. If the work you're showing isn't at least as good as most of the best work that's being done, maybe don't show it, right? So is this a bad website? No. Is it a great website? Probably not really, right? It looks like a lot of things. So it's hard to stand out as a designer if the thing you're showing me looks like things I've seen millions of times before. So yeah, I think there's an opportunity to rethink what you think the most important contribution you made to this project is, and then break that down for me really, really simply. Hopefully that's helpful. What else we got here? Promotional email, graphic designers, Shannon Gray, Margot McFall, Ben McCurl. So I'm not sure what that means. Are these all people, whoops, okay, didn't mean to do that. Are these all people who worked on it or people you're working for? Let's find out. Okay, you developed this. You had a team of people that you manage. That's good. I would expect that if you're telling me that you're a creative director. Execution of marketing emails. This is a very small image considering the type on it. I'd make that big enough to read. Okay, here's what I think you did right in this section is you kept it to 3 images, which is probably enough. Like, I love that I didn't have to like bounce all over the place and try and figure out what to look at first. Oh wait, you've cheated a little bit here. You've got a slideshow. I didn't quite catch that the first time. But still, this presentation is a little easier to digest. But again, I'm not quite sure what I'm judging here. Is it the design of these posters? I guess it is. You did the photography. Yeah, I feel like this is a weird angle. It's just maybe a style thing, but make it straight on so I don't have to twist my head to read it. Okay, I'm gonna skip ahead. Promotional email. American Crew, official supplier to men. Okay, this is a big brand. So this is, as far as I can tell, this is the first like big brand thing that I've seen in your folio. This might be a place to lead because, you know, obviously your first impression counts a lot. And so when someone lands on your website, you want that first thing they look at to make them go, oh, damn, she's worked with them. And so far, for me, looking at your portfolio, this is that moment. I'm like, oh, American Crew. Wow, she must be good. She's worked with a global brand like that. Let's find out what happened. So shampoo, conditioner, and body wash. So you've used this space here underneath your heading before to kind of explain different things. And it's inconsistent, the type of information you present there. So I would think about that. You're training me as I move through your website to look for things in certain places. So this doesn't explain what you did or who was involved the way some of the others did. This is just, you're just telling me the product now. So I feel like that's a disconnect. Work hard, clean, easy, 3-in-1 shampoo. Love this. Do you know that people say that the most commonly read thing on a resume or a CV, the first thing most recruiters look at is the personal stuff, like the thing, your hobbies or interests. They're looking for a reason or a way to connect with you at a human level. And so I love this thing. And I feel like this is a fun thing you could put in every project. like a little fun fact about Nicole that helps me feel like I have a bigger understanding or broader understanding of who you are as a human by the time I get to the end. Imagine if you did one of these on every page, right? Find out what kind of music you like, where you grew up, languages you speak, favorite places you've traveled, that kind of stuff. It actually helps make a connection, and I think it'd be cool to see that sprinkled throughout your whole portfolio. Again, this is hard because I'm guessing you inherited brand guidelines. So were you more of an art worker here? If you weren't, then what did you do? So I think there's an opportunity to take this awesome big brand that you've got and make me understand how you helped them and what you did, right? Uh, as an ad, this is nice looking, conceptually devoid. There's no idea, right? And so for me, it's a miss, right? But that's, I'm all about the ideas. So sometimes you can't sneak them into every opportunity. What's this? Catalog and brochure design. So, okay, so this is just a generic, I'm guessing this is a generic portfolio section now, not for a specific brand. So that's inconsistent as well with the way you've presented your work. Up until now, it's all been for a specific brand. This is, I think, generic. Yeah, so you've got hair care again, annual reports, salon, artist promo. Cool. Okay, so my suggestion here is to stay consistent with how you've been presenting the work that's come before. So pick one catalog or pick one brochure that you think is the best. I don't think you need to show me four. And I think if you're honest with yourself, you probably have a favorite, and that one favorite is the one that you should show. Because also, I always tell people to not put work in their portfolio if it's not the kind of work that you want to do. So if you love doing product guides and you love doing annual reports and you love doing salon flyers or promo books, if that's your jam, then by all means, put each of these in as a separate project. But if those are the things that you did for money and some of them came out nice enough that you thought you might chuck them in your portfolio, but really what you want to do is something else, take them out. That's my 2 cents there. Okay. Okay. That's it. Oh, wait. Environmental design. That was weird. The navigation didn't come back. That seems like a glitch. Okay, environmental design. So this is probably another category section rather than a specific section. Craftsy. So this feels like it should have gone with the Craftsy section because I already looked at Craftsy. So I feel like this belongs there. This is a nice photo, by the way. It's nice to see that logo in the wild. Same with this, Craftsy. It's hard to say 5 times fast. Craftsy. Yeah, I think this goes in the Craftsy section. Get rid of it here. And is that it? Oh, okay, UX portfolio. Let's see what we got here. So like I said before, if your UX portfolio doesn't work well on mobile, you got a problem. Taskly. How many of these are there? Taskly, Inspirato, Daily, UI. That's it, 3 of 3. Okay, let's go through them. Live life to your full potential, make the most out of your day, dive in with confidence. My gosh. Okay, Nicole, I'm going to tell you the same thing I've already said a few times. Get rid of all this copy, right? When you download a mobile app, nobody's there to, there's not enough room on the screen, and they just wouldn't anyway. It's bad behavioral science, UX, it's, the way you move people or into an app, onboard people into an app and move them through an app is really simple, really basic language, right? And the fact that you're trying to explain a mobile app with words and not pictures, to me feels like a disconnect. If you're a UX designer, then you let the design do the talking, full stop. So for me, screenshots of this should explain to me everything I need to know about what this is. And all these people down here, who are they? Why do I care? And all this stuff, I'm not reading it. Oh my God, there's more. Okay, yeah, I guess this is cool. Like from a UX perspective, they want to know that you can plan out a build. That's important. So this is interesting to share. This potentially as well. But no one's going to read this, right? This is a conversation, right? Use the design and the imagery to get in a foot in the door, and then you talk through your process with people. That'd be my 2 cents. There's just too much here. I think you could really simplify it with screenshots from the app and let me understand what it is first. Oh, what happened? It's stuck. Oh yeah, one more thing. Just the UX itself. I'm just going to go back here. The UX design itself, like this is clean and simple. Where's the app? I just want to see it. You're a UX designer, but you're not showing me the UX. Yeah, so this is really basic, right? It's not front facing. You're not the knife edge of UX design here. It's very, very kind of basic, simple, almost like kid-like in its design. And so I'm not sure that that's helping you as much as it could. Let's take a look at Inspirato. Okay, more copy. Images that are too small to fully understand what's going on. This mock-up is hard to read. These pictures, I don't understand why they're there. Wireframes. Okay, like I said, I think UX might be one of the rare times where it's interesting to see the process, because that's what people are hiring you for, as much as the ability to execute that process in a visual way. But you know, you've said this is a UX section, but you haven't shown me UX. Like, if this is it, this image shows me a website. It's not necessarily an explanation of your UX design skills. None of these images feel like they're doing that either. This one might be, but it's too small, and these pictures seem irrelevant. So I feel like you've missed the opportunity to explain what it is you did here and show it in an inspiring and cool way. The daily UI challenge, challenging my skills and knowledge to become a better designer. Love this. I'm such a fan of self-improvement and personal development and growth. The fact that you've given yourself something, I don't even know what this is yet, but the fact that you're even thinking like this is awesome. It means to me that you are the kind of person who will continue to try and expand your knowledge, try and expand your skills, get better, always be improving. The fact that you shared your portfolio link with me says that too. So I appreciate that. I love this. Let's see what it is. A daily user interface design prompt for 100 days. Yeah, great. Cool. I love this record thing. That's awesome. Grizzly Bear, good track. Sonos. Yep. Okay. You know what? Don't make me check back often for more projects. Put an email form here. You want to build your customer base, if you're a freelancer especially, put a form in here. It says, hey, subscribe, and I'll send you when I have something awesome to show you. You know, one line email subscribe button would help you connect with more people that might want to work with you. So that's a missed opportunity. Okay, so you said you did it for 100 days, but I only see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 here. That means there's 81 others that might be better if you actually did 100 days. If you're still doing it, then forgive me. Like the green card is interesting. This one, I don't know what it is, but I love it. Part of that is maybe the album art is cool, but I like the animated record and the simplicity of the player. But don't try and out UX the people who are doing UX best. Like, you're not going to do UX better than Spotify. You're not going to do UX better than Sonos, right? Like, so if you want to really challenge yourself, pick something awful and make it awesome, right? So that's a good suggestion for anybody out there, by the way, who's thinking of doing spec work. Pick a category or a product or a service that you think is terrible, that looks disgusting and bad, like that you would never want to have anything to do with it, and then take it from terrible to amazing, and that is really fun to do, and sometimes you can get paid for it. Okay, that was 3 out of 3. So I think we're getting near to the end here. About Nicole, it's a nice photograph. I love that you got your LinkedIn big. I love that you've dribbled there. All the contact information. This isn't scrolling, which is a problem because I don't get to read about your leadership. Yeah, it's not scrolling, so that's something that you want to fix. And then contact, get in touch. Okay, great. Well, how do I get out of here? I don't know how to get out of this. That's weird too. That's another UX problem. All right. Well, that's a perfect place to end. Nicole, thank you so much for sharing your portfolio with me. I hope that you found some of my thoughts and feedback and opinions useful. Remember, they are just my opinions. Take them and use them or don't. My advice, regardless of whether or not you agree with what I've said, is to keep sharing your work with more people, get more feedback, look for those consistencies in the feedback, and when you start hearing the same thing over and over and over, maybe those are the things to pay attention to as you continue to increase your knowledge, your expertise, your wisdom, your craft, and your design skills. So thank you for having the courage to share your work with me. I really, really do appreciate it. Remember, everyone, that if you would like to share your folio, you can do that at eranthomson.com/reviews. I would love to see your work and hopefully help you make it even more awesome. So please do get those links headed my way. And that will do it for now. Oh yeah, one last thing. If you want to connect with me on LinkedIn, you can just Google my name. I'm the only Eran Thomson on there. And I'd love to connect. And hit me up in the comments. Let me know how you feel I did with this review. If you agreed, if you disagreed, it'd be awesome to understand, what the rest of you think. So that's pretty much it. Catch you next time.